Jean-Michel Basquiat was born in Brooklyn, New York on December 22, 1960. Ever since the age of 4, he showed an affinity for drawing. His interest in drawing was sparked by his mother, who took him to visit the Brooklyn Museum and other museums during his youth. His mother continued to encourage his interest in art and emphasized the importance of education. By the age of 7, he was an avid reader of Spanish, French, and English texts. One day, while playing ball in the street, Basquiat was hit by a car. While recovering, he received a copy of Gray's Anatomy from his mother. This medical textbook would make a lasting impression on him, as its influence is found in his later work with anatomical drawings and prints. It is also referenced in the name of the band he co-founded in 1979, Gray, where he played the clarinet. The group performed a distinct blend of jazz, punk, and synth pop, often referred to as noise music. Music would soon play a big role in his art as well. One of the most recognizable features of the artist's paintings and drawings is the overwhelming abundance of written words on the canvas. The art historian Robert Ferris Thompson once declared, "It's as if you were dripping letters." Before his success as a painter, Basquiat was famous for making graffiti with his high school friend Al Diaz under the name SAMO, an acronym for Samoch. Phrases like "Samo as an end to playing art," or "Samo for the so-called avant-garde," presented the Samo persona as outside the commercial art world and critical of it. In fact, even after abandoning the Samo persona and emerging to the art world himself, Basquiat remained an outsider to the mainstream art world, despite his rising fame in it. Basquiat went from Samo to commercial success at warp speed in the early 1980s. He first exhibited at the Times Square show, an exhibition that marked the genesis of the 80s art movement. He was later invited to the New York or New Wave exhibition called the Armory Show of the 1980s. Almost immediately afterward, the young 20-year-old Haitian-Puerto Rican artist was invited to exhibit in his first solo show in Italy. A year later, Basquiat became the youngest artist invited to participate in Documenta 7, an international contemporary art exhibition. Based on his rapid success, critics refer to him as the Black Picasso. The nickname was difficult for Basquiat, who never embraced it, but was nevertheless concerned with his own place within art history. Basquiat appropriated the work of Leonardo, Edward Manet, and Pablo Picasso into his own compositions, in part to pay homage to the great painters he admired, but also to rewrite art history and place himself into the canon. Looking at his 1983 horn players, for example, reveals several connections to Picasso's Three Musicians. Basquiat's use of the triptych format mirrors the triple subjects of the Picasso image. The figure on the left in Basquiat's composition is also reproduced in the same position as the standing figure playing the clarinet in Picasso's work. The central panel of Basquiat's canvas, which does not show a portrait of an identifiable musician like the other two panels, but instead a distorted head with roughly outlined features, is also similar to Three Musicians. Here, Picasso references in paint his earlier experiments with paper collage, especially in rendering the face and head of his central figure. The viewers are being asked not only to draw upon their knowledge of music history, but of modern painting to fully understand his work. Most of his paintings express his strong interest for the work of jazz musicians. Two famous jazz musicians of the bebop area, the saxophonist Charlie Parker and the trumpeter Dizzy Gillespie, appear most frequently, both as figures in the paintings and through linguistic references to their work. On the left of the canvas, the artist has drawn a portrait of Parker holding a saxophone, which produces hot pink musical notes and distorted sound waves. We see a half-length portrait as well of Dizzy Gillespie in the right panel, who holds a silent instrument alongside his torso. The words that float to the left of the figure's head represent scat singing the musician often performed on stage. Horn players also shows us all the main stylistic features we have come to expect from this renowned American artist. He has included several drawings and words, many of which he drew and then crossed out. On each panel, we also notice large swaths of white paint, which seem to both emphasize the black background and conceal the drawings and words underneath. Most remarkable, perhaps, is the prevalence of repeated words like dizzy, ornithology, pre, and teeth that the artist has scattered across all three panels of this work. These words relate specifically to Charlie Parker. For example, ornithology is the study of birds, but it refers to the title of his famous composition, which was inspired by his nickname Bird. On Friday, August 12, 1988, Basquiat died at age 27 from a drug overdose. Basquiat's fascination with stardom and burning out is a recurring subject in his life. Jimi Hendrix and Janis Joplin, two people whose work and artistic achievement Basquiat admired, had also both died at age 27 from a drug overdose in 1970. His popularity both in the auction house and in popular culture persists even today, as his large paintings sell for more than $20 million. Many scholars have linked Basquiat's interest in jazz to a larger contribution in African American popular culture, but another reason is that the young Basquiat looked to jazz music for inspiration and for guidance, much in the same way that he looked to the modern masters of painting.